How would you feel about a clothing lifestyle brand of your choosing coming out in support of same-sex marriage?
Did you want us to say the brand we want?
Yeah, think about it, write it down, and then discuss afterwards.
Should be very efficient.
Have any better pens?
Spelled current with 2 E's.
Ready to discuss? Ali, you go first.
I should go last.
Classic.
I would feel good about it. It's a good thing.
Why?
It's a positive thing. Why? I don't know. I don't know why I feel warm and fuzzy, but I just feel like I would. I think it's a courageous thing. So that's all. It's just, you know, they're using their platform in a positive way.
I think it's good because it's progressive and keeps in theme with current times.
Yeah.
But I also think that maybe they'll reach a point where it will become fashionable to associate yourselves positively with homosexuality. So then
It's not
brands
pure.
will just do it because it's the trendy thing to do. Like everyone wants to support gay people because everyone loves homosexuality. And then I think it could actually have
Yeah, exactly.
potentially
What about you?
negative.
Yeah, basically what she said.
Great.
Yeah.
What about you?
I think, yeah.
I think it has to be done in a way that doesn't like sensationalize. Like if
Yeah.
it's done in a very, you need to do it in a way that's not like.
Subtle.
To be honest, my first reaction is actually unnecessary. When I thought actually no, it's important to have it normalized. People need to normalize, you know, same-sex marriage. People, you know, it's very important to see on TV, print campaigns. Like,
Yeah,
so it's important. It seems like it's feeding people like.
It depends what way they do it, because it's
Yeah.
like in that Lloyd's thing,
Yeah,
if he
it's
said
like-
yes, it's
Don't
really
even
good
go down
example,
the stage of
rather
going,
than actually just saying, oh, by the way, now guys, we're giving mortgages to same-sex couples in
Yeah.
our house together, for
Yeah.
example, like, and make a big headline.
Exactly.
Because
It's just normalizing it, putting it in the same stream as everything else is perfect. But yeah, my first reaction wasn't necessary, it was quite interesting. But yeah, but then I started to think, no, actually, you need to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, obviously, it's like current, but then what happens if it's like turns out to be like Trump makes it illegal? What happens if Trump makes it illegal again?
Well, yeah, but I would wait. What was your point?
So obviously keeping up with current like times,
Yeah.
like now, like
But
Yeah, but then it becomes
something
more
illegal,
important.
yeah, exactly.
It becomes more important because the media then have a position of power which they should utilise to show people that actually it is still okay just because someone is saying it's not okay doesn't mean it's not okay.
no, but I mean, what if he makes it illegal?
Yeah, but it's still.
Oh yeah, but people can. I mean, okay, yeah, I get what you're saying.
Let's
It's like
stick
completely
on
illegal,
topic,
but it's not
yeah.
going to be like the death penalty.
Any more points there, guys?
No, next question.
Nice. Next question. How would you feel about a clothing lifestyle brand encouraging participation in a march to close the gender gap? The gender pay gap, sorry.
To be honest,
In a march, did you say?
Yeah, basically encouraging social activism to close the gender pay gap, which we all know still exists. So let's not act like it doesn't.
Alright. Don't deny it.
From a specific brand.
Can we say the word?
A clothing lifestyle brand,
Can
yeah.
we say the word?
I think I've got quite controversial answers this time.
Of course you do.
Classic. Devil's advocate.
Encouraging participation. I can barely be quiet enough before I want to discuss.
If you're going to say that there is no gender pay gap, then I'm gonna-
No, I'm going to say. I don't know. No, there is. There's a 28%.
That's what the recorded statistics are, but think about how many don't actually.
I'm saying there's. I'm not moronic. I'm not going to deny that.
Okay, can we discuss?
Yeah, I'm going to say. I'm going straight in there. Encouraging participation in a march. Firstly, whether you're, it's not their, I don't think it's their job to tell me what I need to be doing, encouraging, you should be doing this, and then make me feel bad if I don't. Obviously, I may or may not be pro or for those views or whatever, but there's a difference between someone saying, using their platform to encourage or whatever, or becoming accepting of other people's views and blah blah blah, or actually just saying, oh, we all think you should go do that. To be honest, you sell trainers, not your bloody players. So,
but it's raising awareness for issues.
No, but the question is encouraging participation. You should all go. It's not saying we're going. It's saying encouraging participation. So unless the question's phrased wrongly, it's not their job to encourage. If they put their Twitter, oh, why don't we all come and support us on this equality march today? No, if they put on their Twitter, we're in support of this cause today. That's something different.
It's not like rallying people to like get people like talking about something. Like, so it's
is it their place to do that?
Yeah.
I think it is.
Yeah.
I don't.
I don't think so. It depends on the brand it is.
Yeah, I think
If it's consistent, then I'm trying to think of a brand that is.
Well, it wouldn't be because these brands make clothing and like it's not their place. I'm not.
What about Lululemon?
I was just thinking Lululemon.
What about Lululemon? They're all about community and
women.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
I would say it's not the brand. It's not their place to do that. So I don't.
Okay, what do you think?
No, but it's not their place, but.
Yeah, well, that's it. That's how I feel. I think.
I just think it depends on what their mantra is.
So if their ethos aligns with that cause, then fair enough. Then you'd be in support of that.
Yeah.
Kirsty?
And you can see it, even if it goes badly, I think it would be free marketing for them anyway, probably.
It's no different from them like sharing a video, like social media and stuff from brands. Like people share stuff all the time, saying like, guys, go and support this cause. It's no different from like go and support this march. It's no different from being like, oh, Oxfam are doing this and like you should go down and buy a cake at their bake sale. Like it's the same thing. Like brands do that type of stuff all the time because if it's something they agree with or something that they believe in, then they have a massive platform to share that.
And the same with like brand ambassadors, it would be like them going to the march because they're standing for that brand.
And I feel like brands do that. Like
Yeah.
we stand all together, like we stand together, we stand with every woman. Like I feel like there's loads of brands that do that.
Like
Like
brand is just the
Active and
people
stuff
that
like
make it
that.
up, isn't it? That's what brand is. So
Yeah, it's all the stakeholders.
yeah, and the people that are the community, like you said, the community that make up what the brand is. Brand by itself, yeah.
I think
people make up that brand and what it.
I agree, but like you're saying, because like brands, they have these big ideas and these big slogans, and that brings everyone together. They do that. But there's a subtle difference between that and then getting involved in these really kind of specific coming out for like a political party, like one way or the other, for example. It's quite like it's all. You want to be part of something bigger, and then maybe you want to use that. If you like a brand because they stand for something bigger, and that's great. And then they should use that for a wider cause. But then if they're going to start, getting involved, I don't know. It's like
there's a difference between the gender pay gap and politics. Like the gender pay gap is something that affects. That it's like an issue that people have an opinion on. Politics is the same issue that people have different opinions on. Whereas the gender pay gap is just like that. It's just it's a statistic. It's not like it's an opinion that's formed of like something.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I just think that specific example. I mean,
is it that specific example that bothers you? What if it was something else?
It's not. It doesn't bother me, but I just think, well, I don't know.
But it's the same as like, for example,
just pay everyone in the company the same wage. Don't just say
Yes, exactly.
Like
That's
it's cheap. Like
I don't think any
join some generic
I don't think any clothing lifestyle brand would do that.
Yeah, they wouldn't. And if they did, it would stand out like a sore thumb.
Yeah, they wouldn't do that. Simply because it'd be very easy to find out their own pay data and find out they don't pay you. women and men equally. So I don't think any of them would do that.
Do a march if they didn't, surely.
So
No,
you
but
think
that's-
it's an unrealistic hypothetical?
Oh yeah, unrealistic.
Say the brand did do all the things that you just said. Say
If
they
they did, they publicly. That's how they do it. They you know.
Yeah, they'd be like, we pay.
We pay, you know.
If
everyone-
we said that, like,
They don't.
if
So-
that,
Okay.
if there's part of their ideology and their ethos and they do it, then obviously they can support it. But the whole point is, isn't this supposed to be a hypothetical where it will be a bit out of the ordinary? They're going to use why don't we all go and march and do this thing today? Why don't we all, like, go and save the rainforest today or whatever? It's just like, well, yeah, fair enough, I'm not saying we shouldn't do that, but there's lots of fucking great things that we should go and do all
We
the time.
shouldn't do all of them because
Okay, so bottom line is authenticity, basically.
Yeah, number
Yeah,
four.
if they can show that they're being authentic and they're not being hypocritical, well, then it's fine, yeah.
Okay,
So.
last question in this series in this type. How would you feel about increasing support for the Black Lives Matter movement from clothing lifestyle brands in the UK?
In the UK.
Yeah, that's the point, is in like they would essentially be encouraging support and drawing up support on this side of the pond because they feel like they have more to give and they can create activism that way. What do you think?
And repeat the question, sorry.
Yeah. How would you feel about increasing support for the Black Lives Matter movement from clothing lifestyle brands in the UK?
UK brands specifically or American brands in the UK?
It can be American brands who do really well in the UK, but they would be deliberately trying to encourage awareness and understanding here because they feel that it's important for the whole of the Western world to understand why that's important to America. Does that make sense? Cara?
Let's just do what they do now.
I love it. It is good.
I'll put the time machine.
Two bullet points.
I think it's very dependent on. Can you read upside down? I can.
Everyone can read us.
Okay, let's start discussing. I'll start because I think there are a lot of black brands, but like black people specifically are the center of what they do in terms of inspiration for brands. Who do people, people wear it? I can't.
What, like
Can
Ivy
you
Park?
give me an example?
Not Ivy Park. No, like.
You've had this with Top Shop.
Yeah.
No, but it's like a lot of like was
Or brands that maybe not black brands that at the center of those brands is black culture or like it's hip hop.
It's in their DNA.
okay.
It's in the DNA. So it's what everyone wears it, but the DNA, the central theme is black culture,
Like
hip
what
hop.
brand? I can't think of one.
Maybe like Hypebeast.
Yeah, exactly. Hypebeast. There's so many brands that you just associate with hip hop.
Whatever.
Yeah, brands
Exactly.
you associate with hip hop. Yeah. So those brands, it's actually very effective for them to of course, you're not just exploiting black culture for your brands. You're actually also going one step further and saying, here's what we this is the main base for our
Yeah, this
inspiration.
is part of you're educating what's helped us be, what's important to us, what's helped us get to where we are today.
Yeah.
Is this kind of
Culture. These people.
culture. We
So
want to
here's-
educate and recognise and celebrate.
Exactly. So I think it's spread very well for brands like that. And there are lots, I try to think off my head, but there are a lot of, most really popular brands that do hip hop are centered on black culture.
Some of
It's
those
not just black
brands
people.
though, those like brands like you said, like
Hypebeast.
yeah, they're all they're like quite subtle and they don't make big deals of stuff. Do you know
No,
what I mean?
exactly.
So
It'd
it
be
might
tough
get
for
off
them.
for them to be like,
Yeah, it'd be tough for
Black Lives
them.
Matter.
Exactly, it'd be tough for them to do that.
Like
because-
they're quite cool and
yeah,
like
exactly.
down.
They're cool, but people would react very badly to that.
Yeah.
People would be
It's different
inconsistent
to
with
what
their
they're like.
So all those brands that should do it wouldn't do it because it'd be inconsistent with
Exactly. It comes back to that
Do you
thing.
feel, say in this hypothetical they decide actually we want to use our influence for this cause and we decide that enough is enough, would you like that?
I feel good if for those brands it matters. It'd be very important because if you're saying you're not just using the culture to build your brand, you're actually using the culture and then educating people on what's important to our culture. So for those brands, it's very, very important.
But I think that the more likely scenario is that actually it would be brands that aren't based around black culture, brands that are very much the opposite of that.
Oh, really?
And no, exactly, but I think they would be the ones that would want to shout about it, like Black Lives Matter, we're in support of Black Lives Matter, because like you said, the brands that are focused around black culture, like they're proud of their heritage and they don't need to advertise it to the world. It's more
And how do
brands
you feel about those
like
brands
imagine someone like
doing that?
H&M or something.
Really?
But I feel like
Yeah.
that would be like
I feel-
attention and like.
Yeah,
That's what I mean.
H&M doing it would feel very inauthentic.
Yeah,
Exactly, but
Yeah,
I
it
think
wouldn't be
that's the only
Yeah, like
so
why?
And it would
Don't even hire
they've
black
only got,
models.
and it'd be like they've only got to gain from it because they're actually looking.
Yeah.
That's in the they're doing it for selfish gain because they're probably like a really like white brand, whatever. Like they're not associated with that, so they're just think we're really going to dominate this market. Let's pretend to care about something else because it's a fad.
And
we can just
people would pounce on
Yeah,
it.
if you
You're
try-
authentic, like it has to be authentic. It has to be a brand that's relevant for because people would be very angry. People would pounce on them. People are ready to attack brands and things like this.
Plus, like look at what happened with Pepsi.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's.
I think it's so easy. It's
Oh
so, it's so
my
easy
god.
for us
Shall
to
we talk
go.
about Pepsi?
No, it's so easy for us to go.
We can talk about
there's
this, yeah,
these,
because I have used it for benchmark.
Oh shit, I mean that's a great one. I
And
mean,
it absolutely fucked it.
absolute, just wow. Ah.
I just don't understand. But the only thing I can think of that is that they thought any publicity is good publicity.
No, babe, do you know what
I
it was? They had they
This is
did
fuck
it
up.
with an
This is
in-house.
quite a simple
They did-
fuck up.
no,
Do you think?
Well, there was the.
Let her speak.
They did it with an. Fuck me. They did it with an in-house ad agency, so they didn't outsource. So and their entire ad agency is white.
Yeah.
Literally white rich people, and that's why they fail because most brands work with an ad agency and then they have their in-house marketing, and usually it's like a collaboration between the two. And ideas get bounced around and they test them, but obviously they just fucking loved this idea so much. They didn't even sense check it. They didn't take it to anyone.
Yeah.
They just thought it was gonna be amazing. Like, let's get this like elite white
Well, I'm
model.
just surprised. Why do people know
Group
that as
thing.
well? Like, I'm like surprised. Like, I know the whole team is white. That's what I've heard. But I'm like, why people can tell that's bad? Like, I don't think you need black.
No, it's a group thing, isn't it? It's like
Yeah.
someone's got an idea and then they just.
Yeah, I know it's true.
How anyone could look at that advert and think
So, yeah.
this is not going to annoy anyone.
Yeah.
How can any like?
And filming it, like a whole crew filmed it.
There was black
Yeah.
people there.
That's the thing,
They
it's not-
not be like, what the fuck are we doing?
Yeah, literally. So strange.
Like it doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
It really doesn't make any
And,
sense.
it almost is
Yeah.
deliberate.
But in a way, because it's such a big
Yeah.
black brand,
Yeah.
they just like kind of like believe in them.
Yeah.
You know, think that they know what they're doing.
It's
So-
just crazy.
But-
Anyway, sorry.
Hang on, but still touching that, what do you think is the biggest hypocrisy of the advert for you? Which is, like, out of all of the elements of that, of the commercial, which is the thing that just kind of like stings the most? Because there's quite a few elements. There's like they've mirrored imagery from Baltimore, from Baton Rouge. They've chosen Kendall Jenner, who's from a family who is like literally infamous for cultural appropriation. There's a scene where she throws her black wig at the black assistant. And
Yeah.
There's so many issues with it.
Yeah, I always felt like that was trolling. I was like, is the video on purpose? Like, yeah, that was one of the things I just thought, wow. Someone watched this advert, edited it, spent hours editing it.
And didn't think that
I
was
didn't
an
think
issue.
that. I was like, what? I'm so surprised. It must be deliberate. Or just really bad judgment at every step. It doesn't like the drafting, the pitching, like the filming, the editing, the release. Like, what the fuck?
That's like 9 months' work.
Yeah, literally. These have like, it take a long time, so I'm just so surprised that guys, this is a bit shit. Like, are you all serious? Like, this should be like a black intern who just walked in the meeting like, guys, what the fuck are you doing? This is ridiculous. Everybody was insane. It was like, okay, fine. Great idea, guys. Like, people are gonna love this. Let's get Kendall on. I'm sucking up intern. Oh dear. Anyway.
We've all been there.
There we go.
Literally.
Question 4.
Would you prefer a clothing lifestyle brand to keep quiet if it was to express cultural or political views that were in conflict with your own? Or would you prefer that they use their influence to encourage awareness of topical issues regardless of whether you were in support of that view? It's quite a big question.
Yeah.
Yeah. Would you prefer a clothing lifestyle brand to keep quiet if it was to express cultural or political views that were in conflict with your own? Or would you prefer that they use their influence regardless to encourage awareness of topical issues? Do you like that colour?
I don't know if they have. It's all in here, mate.
Yeah, same.
But we have to write it down.
We do not.
Ready?
It's quite tricky, that question.
Yeah.
It's like I think they should encourage awareness, but then when you get these issues, which are, if something's like, are you in support of it, like saving rainforests, let's say. No, it might not be important
Let's
to you,
take
but
rainforest
no one's really against it. Do you know what I mean? You're not going to be offended if someone. If you don't care about saving the rainforest, then your brand comes out and says, "Hey guys, this is actually a big issue. Maybe we should try and do something about it." It's like, "Oh, I haven't really thought about that before. Oh, now I care about it." Or, "Haven't really thought about that before, and I still don't care about it." But you're not going to be offended.
No,
Then when you weigh in on issues where people
So say it's like,
sit on the side of the fence, then that can offend, and then it's like,
so it's like pro-abortion or something.
Yeah, I was gonna say abortion.
And
Exactly, yeah.
I think the brand should still speak what they think, and then they'll lose certain people and they'll gain certain people. That's what a brand is. Like, no, not everyone can love you, but
I
that's
don't
their
think
The thing is that
issue,
on the
that's
big
their-
issues, how can a brand, for example, be pro-life or pro-choice? It actually cannot. It can't be either way, because who's that brand? Is it that company? Is it the founder? Is it that? So all these big
I don't think
issues.
they wouldn't want to do it.
No, they wouldn't. They just like.
Yeah.
But again, even on like politics and stuff, it's like, a brand's not going to come out and say, oh, like.
They're not going to want to lose people, are they?
Yeah, exactly. They
They're not
wouldn't do
gonna
that. But
want to-
if they did, it would give good
I think it's
useful
fine.
information for me, because
I
it's
saw-
not came out
you-
to support
then you-
abortion or.
Yeah, and then you.
Yeah, you'd be like, well, I don't.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
in answer to the question,
It'd be
it
a
was-
nice way to sort of sift through brands and navigate. Because if they make
It would
it
be
clear.
sad if like Nike was like that, and I'd be like, great, can't shop there.
Yeah, exactly.
But I think
exactly.
Well, that'd be an
people
interesting thing.
People did it with Brexit though. Like I swear, like
Yeah,
social
everyone.
media influencers were posting like I'm in.
Yeah.
You didn't see anyone posting I'm not
Yeah.
in,
Which is
that's
crazy and
interesting
funny.
considering
Yeah. We're out.
the outcome. But I don't know.
But it's-
I think it is kind of weird actually, because thinking about that, like no one that wasn't pro-Brexit really said about it, because they knew that all the people that were pro-Brexit were going to jump down their throats. But actually, clearly, there was more people that were pro-Brexit because.
And even
No, but the
companies.
people that
Why not? I feel like-
pro-Brexit.
That was a consensus view. That was a consensus view.
Spoons,
So it's
actually.
not.
Weatherspoons.
Oh yeah, they did come out as pro-Brexit. didn't
Yeah,
they?
yeah. Random.
But also, it's interesting to see that, let's say a brand says, "Oh, we should stay, we should leave or something," and then everyone's like, "Oh, well, I'm never going to buy that item of clothing again." Actually, 6 months later, I bet you people. Let's say Nike says, actually, whatever, we're pro-Trump. Probably instantly, you're like, "Oh, I'm not going to buy Nike anymore." But it'd be interesting to see. Then you'd probably go back to that brand. So it's like, what you think is really important. Oh, I must have alignment to my views. It's only up to a certain point. 'Cause sometimes you just want to buy the best stuff or the
Yeah.
coolest stuff. So, no.
It's quite hard though, 'cause it's like what makes something cool or desirable is like people wanting it, and if enough people, like for example, like Pepsi versus Coca-Cola, like the constant dilemma, which one do I choose?
Constant dilemma.
What comes to mind?
One of like the big questions.
Well,
Yeah.
like people.
Coke.
What about Dr. Pepper? Is that like
Yeah.
Yeah, but like people either drink Coke or they drink Pepsi.
Who drinks
Or
Pepsi?
I
These
don't know,
can't only
people
do
must.
Pepsi.
Great, thanks, Matt. Next question, I think. Pizza only Pepsi.
They don't give you a choice.
Yes, true, actually.
Make
There's
life easier for people.
a few weird places like
Also,
I've never
in
got Pepsi
Egypt,
in my life.
Pepsi
Here we go.
has monopolised the entire market. You can't buy Coke anywhere
Oh,
in Egypt.
really?
Fun fact.
In Egypt.
Yeah.
That's interesting. There's some places like that.
Okay, next
Not
question.
there.
Do you think there is potential for clothing lifestyle brands to be part of a new method of communication between cosmopolitan millennials and British millennials in different social circumstances?
Do I think there's a what?
Do you think there is potential for clothing lifestyle brands to be part of a new method of communication between cosmopolitan millennials and other millennials in Britain?
Expand on that. What do you mean?
I don't know.
Do you mean like Brexit millennials and
Okay, so no, just
travel
it's
around
not
Europe?
about It's about not everything is about Brexit. It's about like you guys, all these ideas, all the things that you believe in. Do you think that there is a potential for clothing lifestyle brands to translate your views and your passions to other millennials through the brand? How
Yeah, I understand.
What is this communication? What is this
No,
new
you're basically
communication?
saying that like if people that live in big cities that buy into a brand a lot more than people that live in rural areas or live in the north of England, for example, you're saying that can a brand then use the people that live in the big cities to influence the other people to also buy their brand?
But more importantly, it's not about, obviously it is about creating profit, but actually it's about communicating ideas between you and other millennials. Like, do you remember the second session we had? And I asked you what ideas you wanted to communicate to millennials, and there was like prioritizing career, and then there was all about equality, freedom of speech, freedom of ideas.
And the brand then communicating their view to some.
As in,
another
like, do you
group.
remember when I asked you what you think are the key issues that you are passionate about, the key issues that you would march for?
Yeah.
Yeah, and all those things that you discussed. Then what happens if there's a brand that aligns with one of those views, and then actually you think there are other people in our country that don't understand this or would like to be a part of this? That's what I'm talking about. Like, inclusion of other millennials who don't live in the city but want to be a part of this discussion or this dialogue or this event.
I think it's a lot to
saying.
put in for brands, right?
Yeah, but brands, the whole
That's what
point of
brand
this
is.
is
I don't understand.
that brand is like,
What do you mean? They would buy the clothes and feel a part of it? I don't know.
no, it's not about the clothes, it's about communication between the brand and other millennials. It's like more making brands more about a moral cause and not just about clothes.
Okay, how would they communicate?
Through campaigns,
yeah.
and through social media, how they always
Surely we do want that, don't we? I mean, isn't that just what? They're doing that
I
anyway.
think you're right,
Like,
yeah.
why would you not?
Yeah,
want that? I mean,
Clothing allows that.
we're saying we want that as long as they can, as long as we're not going to be skeptical when we see it. We want it because it's like a positive.
Yeah,
Because
I actually think.
obviously you want brands to come out in support of what you're saying and your views. And as you said, Kingsley, if you knew what all these brands thought on all these issues, then you'd have more information and it would be more telling, and you want to support and buy more of them or less of them as a result.
But then at the same time, it's quite refreshing to not have to think, oh, this is aligned with
Yeah.
that thing. Like, you get that from everywhere else, and
that
you go
is
to a
true.
brand and it's a mutual
Exactly,
thing.
that's what I mean. That's what I was saying about the point of, brands, they stand for these big slogans, but actually under the bonnet you don't really know where they stand on these issues. And sometimes that's nice, because obviously if you do really like a brand and you think you're part of it, and then they come out and say, oh, actually I believe this, and you're like, oh damn, I don't believe that, then all of a sudden it's exclusive, it's not inclusive.
So what about more general ideas, just like things that you genuinely care about, like equality,
Oh, it's like-
feminism?
Exactly, I think so, because
Well, that's a
sometimes
positive
brands don't come up with.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about like the wider issues that I know that you all care about, and we've discussed at length, about fighting Islamophobia and about fighting patriarchy.
I've got to worry, man. Fighting patriarchy.
Like, for example, Vivienne Westwood is like a brand which is like pro the like no gender pay gap and recycling, green, whatever. That's like a brand that has a very strong, like Vivienne Westwood has a very strong vision of what she believes, and that's very much pushed upon her brand. But at the same time, I just don't see how a brand like that, which has these very strong views, would then use that to communicate to different groups of people, because if you have a very strong view, that's either something you agree with or you don't.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. They're just raising awareness of that topic. It's not about changing people's minds or like starting some huge like activism movement. It's more about just like gradually raising awareness and trying to encourage engagement through
Isn't it
this
just
topic.
about Vivienne Westwood getting on Twitter and going, by the way guys, you should, isn't she already doing that? Isn't that?
Yeah, no, yeah,
Exactly.
exactly.
So,
She has a
so
very
would you like to
strong
see
message.
more of that? For example, I don't know.
Well, you don't need to give an example, would you like to see more of that? I mean, yes, right?
Yeah, I think so. And I would say it's not their place, but I think who else is going to do it? I think
I think that's
the
the
actual
point.
use of vehicle. It's
We
not about subsidies.
we don't want them to get involved in like the UK, we support this candidate.
Yeah.
No. We just
Yeah,
want
but
them
she
to.
does do that. She
we
supports
just-
the Green Party.
yeah.
Everyone knows that.
She does, but like.
That's quite different. It's like
But
Yeah,
but
Yeah, but it's a whole brand.
we
Yeah,
just
but
want
it's-
we just want people to get involved in the
driven
big
by that,
issues
you
that
know.
are important,
And
which
it's-
aren't getting
yeah.
enough
Yeah, but
airtime.
I think in order for a brand to have such a strong opinion, such as Vivienne Westwood, you have to have a strong character behind that, or a social media influencer or something. For example, Alexa Chung is another one. Like her brand, you know, on Instagram, she posts things like "I'm in for Brexit," whatever.
Yeah.
Like, that's all impacting on her brand. I think it would be very difficult for a brand to do that without having.
It's not about like it's not about a new brand coming in and saying, oh, I'm gonna latch onto this new method of communication and marketing because I like it. It's about brands that already exist, that already have strong ethos. That's why it's about lifestyles.
And also,
you know what I mean?
Isn't there a point that if you're Pepsi and you've got like 100 million people following you on Instagram, that you don't necessarily need a strong character behind that who can push something? You need to just say, we need to use our influence, the people who fucking listen to us, whatever we say.
Yeah,
so if we've got people all over the world who don't know about issues and this and that, we should just try and. They've got people look up to Nike more than they look up to like, you know, politics or like they've just got. They kind of transcend a lot of issues, and so they're just about using a platform.
It's like someone like Unilever who creates so many brands that we use and shop every single day, and a lot of their brands have very strong principles behind them.
Yeah,
like,
for example, sustainability project.
Yeah, for example, Dove, like the Every Woman campaign or whatever. Like their brands are very clearly have values behind them. So I think like brands already do it a lot.
Yeah. It's more about just like promoting feminism or promoting equality. I mean, I can't imagine. Obviously, there's a slim minority of people who think, oh, we don't want there to be equality, but
It's not slim,
it's progressive. That's the whole point. Do you want to see progression?
Yeah, obviously, yeah.
Yeah, because brands have an opportunity to just speed up progression, because it's not. It's quite slow. So yeah.
We all agree. Yes.
Yeah, they do, but not to.
What's
to
the
extent-
but?
To an extent. It's to an
Because
extent.
brands could have a really negative impact. Like
So yeah, so you
Trump
say
and
you.
and Pepsi and things like that.
Yeah, obviously that's.
Well, yeah, because but I think at the moment, isn't the point at the moment, we've got all these big brands around the world, and they're companies and they're focusing on profit, but they've all got potential. They've got potential power and influence to influence things, not just about selling trains and stuff like that, but actually to kind of raise awareness of kind of the big global issues like feminism, racism,
Can they do
equality.
that?
Yeah,
Well, the whole point is
You
they don't
want to
do it
see
enough,
more
and they
of
want to
it,
see it
that's my
more.
answer.
So it's not like
Vote. Who wants to see more?
Yeah, I mean.